everybody. I welcome you to the success story series that we are currently taking for the NABARD Grade A 2023 cycle. Today we have Ms. Suryanshi with us. She graduated back in 2022 afterwards. And yeah, she was just 21 years old. That is something that I want to share with you all. And along with her post-graduation, she started preparing for NABARD examination and clear in her very first attempt. So today we are going to understand that how in a very first attempt you can clear NABARD Grade A examination, and also highlighting to that she has no prior experience to any other competitive examination. So it is still doable. She is the live example of that. And how she prepared for it, well organized way, the strategy she followed, everything we are going to understand from her only. But before that, let me just first welcome. Hi, Shriyanshi. Welcome on EduTap, and congratulations on your big achievement.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you very much.
All right. So, first of all, I really want to ask, like, you were just started off with this competitive examination journey, and you stick to NABARD only. Like, first of all, what made you attract towards this particular organization? And like in between, in October, somewhere in October, this examination happened, and before that, in India, examination they keep on coming, and quant
Mm.
reasoning English is something which is like common in all the examination. So, like, what made you stick just to NABARD and not any other examination?
Okay, ma'am. Initially, I was introduced to these three examinations, RBI, SEBI, and NABARD, when I was in my graduation, due to my elder sister. And when I looked into these, I initially made my mind that I have to I have to attempt any of these examinations. But for SEBI, I needed my master's, and RBI also. At that time in 2023, I think it was going to be held in March, due to which I was not eligible by age. So I first thought that okay, I should go for NABARD. But when I started preparing for this examination, and I got to know about the work and the domain of this organization, I realized that I was very interested in this domain. Like it works for rural development sector, and it
Right.
has some very soul satisfaction kind of work domain. So I thought that I'll be very inclined. I was initially also I think since my childhood I was very inclined towards this
Interested,
sector.
yeah.
Everyone is, I think, at some part at some inner part, everyone is interested. They want to go back to the society. We want to do something. But yeah, I was also very much inclined. So I thought that yeah, this organization will satisfy me in that manner. So I just stuck to this organization, just stuck to this exam, and I did not diversify my attention anywhere else.
Right. For example, you have done your graduation, like you have done BSc, and after that
Yes,
you went ahead with the MA in economics, right? So you don't
yes.
have agriculture background, and then in examination there are many people who have given 3 to 4 attempts, or some, I think even more than that. You compete with students or the aspirants who have even given multiple UPSC interviews. But all these things, didn't they ever bothered you? Because like you were just a fresher, and sometime during the preparation, the time that you have taken, maybe sometime these things might have come in your mind that you have to compete with so many people. Is it worth it or not? Are you like going on the right path or not? Should I have a backup or not? Did you ever had those thoughts? And if you had, how did you tackle them?
Uh, Ma'am, yes, I did have such thoughts. I remember like when I was preparing, when I started preparing, then I was very much, at the initial level, everyone at the initial part of their journey, we are all everyone is excited. But as you keep on going, when you start seeing a little bit of competition around you, you see how thousands of people are applying for the same examination, and there is just 150, around
Yeah.
130 vacancies, 130, 150 vacancies. Yeah, such kind of feelings start developing. But if you're consistent in your hard work, and when you start giving mocks, etc., and you start seeing good results, I think that somewhat strengthens your conviction that okay, I am not I'm not take when you don't take the your exam lightly. Okay, you
Right.
see that I also started observing that although thousands of people are appearing for this examination, for all other examination, but there is but the seriousness is not that. constant in
Yeah.
each and every aspirant. Okay, in all those thousands of aspirants, you will not find the same level of dedication, same level of determination, and the same will to do the hard work. Okay, so if you see from that perspective, you'll see that there are very few people who are willing to put in 100% of their efforts. So if
True.
you also, if any aspirant, if they are putting in their 100%, you will see that you will start seeing results, and slowly you will gain confidence that okay, I also deserve a seat like many others.
True. And when you clear examination, you're clearing different phases. Definitely, you are deserving. That is why you are moving ahead. So
Yeah,
the aspirant, it should not compare with other people. And even if they're comparing, that should only boost, motivate them to study further and
yeah.
to reach at that stage that where they can actually proudly compete with the fellow aspirants. All right. So you started preparing from October 2022. So almost a year you gave your all to prepare for this examination, right? So in that preparation, like how did you divided the subject? Like did you, which subject did you prioritize it? Okay, that okay, these are the ones that I have to start like from the initial time only. And then also I also want to ask about the descriptive as well. So did you started descriptive from the very start only, or you first waited to get your concepts clear in theory and then only you move ahead with the descriptive?
Now for the first part of your question, I started with the ARD because that was something that was totally new to me. Yes,
Hmm.
economic and social I had studied earlier also. I had a background in economics, but ARD was completely new and it was also interesting for me. And I knew that it will be a major part of the paper, so I need to have, need to put in some extra efforts
Hmm.
for it. So I started with the ARD, and after 2 3 months I started preparing for quant and reasoning, because that was also new for me. I did not have a banking background,
Hmm.
so that also I started. And about descriptive, yes, I did start writing answers, but not in that flow that I think when since I started in October, I started writing like, for example, one or two answer after completing each chapter. But that was just to, get myself used to with the
Hmm.
style of answer writing. And I used to, I remember when I first started answer writing, I used to take one whole hour to write one answer. Okay, that is too
Hmm.
much. So gradually, yeah, that was just to make myself acquainted with the style, with the typing format and everything, because that was also new to me. Yeah, I'm still used to the pen and paper mode of note
Yeah.
making and everything, and that was all very new for me. So I started with a little answer writing, but my major push towards answer writing was I think somewhere in March 2023, 2023,
Right.
yeah, something like that.
When you dedicated more time to descriptive writing. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
for like decision making and computer knowledge, now these are two subjects which is are just in phase one, and these are
Hmm,
just qualifying in nature. So did
hmm.
you kept these two subjects for the very end, like when the phase one was near, or you just completed at the start only so that you don't have to, because so that you don't have to focus much during that 1 month duration when you have to revise other things a lot.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am, I had kept it for last, but I made sure that I keep some good amount of time, because
Hmm.
you cannot you every year I think we have such things that a few people could not qualify solely on the basis of decision making or solely on the basis of computer knowledge. Okay, I
Yeah.
had seen such people that they say that I had prepared everything, I had prepared descriptive also, and I got stuck in decision making. So I think that is very frightful situation. So I kept it at last, but I made sure that I put in I use the right sources, and I give enough marks so as
Hmm.
to I feel 100% confident while going for the paper. And yeah, computer knowledge, I think it will not take a lot of time, but one must make sure that you just allot a specific amount of time and you prepare it sincerely.
Right. And for phase one of ESI in general awareness, like general awareness, तो चलो ठीक है, it's about current affairs. But in ESI also a lot of current affair, it's very current affair based section, right? So
Hmm.
for how many months, like, do you feel like what your experience is that how many months are enough for if you're preparing for NABARD examination, or how many months did you cover to be on the safer side?
Hmm. Ma'am, as I told, I gave in 1 year. So for a current affair, I started from January 2023. I started doing them because I was doing them for the first time. So first, like for example, if now I have to prepare for something, I will instantly know how to prepare, how to
Yeah.
read schemes, how to do. But for a fresh candidate, it was difficult. So I started from January. I did it for 9 months, but before the examination, I could revise for only 6 months. Or yeah,
Right.
somewhere around 6 months. I think it is most that much is most important. And even in that, some people say that the 4 months is the most crucial
Mm-hmm.
and all that. But I think to be on the safer side, you must do 6 months at least.
Right. And then when you attempted the question, did you feel like, most of you must have heard in the 6 months time period only, or were there many questions that, you can't just recall because maybe they were prior to 6 months?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Right. I'm asking, like, for example, you prepared for 9 months, but then you
Hmm.
revised for 6 months. So in the
Hmm.
examination, did you feel like the questions were in this 6 months duration only, or you felt like,
Hmm.
many questions were unheard because maybe they were prior to 6 months?
Uh, I remember there was once one question I remember that it was before 6 months because I
Hmm.
had read it. I had covered it 9 months. I have covered for 9 months, but I could not answer that because I had not revised it. But yeah, I think it was which scheme? I cannot recall, but
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was one scheme that I remember that it was prior to 6 months. So yeah, it can be. Yeah, someone can give you 100% surety that okay, this that is the boundary,
yeah.
and we will not breach that boundary. But yeah, you
But around
have to cover a
95
lot
to
of,
like 95 to
yeah,
98%, it will
95%,
come,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
from 6 months
95%
only.
or even maybe more than 95%. I remember
Hmm.
just one question which
Hmm.
was before 6 months. So yeah, because you have to cover so much, so you cannot
Hmm.
go 9 months. And
True.
most of the people they are attempting many paper and they are doing everything, so they
Hmm.
cannot afford to go there. But yeah, if you have the luxury of time, you can do it. Otherwise, 6 months is good.
Right. And like, what were the sources did you refer? We'll start off with ARD because that's the most dreaded session also. Like, is the static portion comes a lot more than
Yeah,
current affairs. It's static, it's us, right? So,
yeah.
what source did you refer for it? And then we'll move ahead with other subjects.
Yeah. For ARD, I covered ARD static. I covered from EduTap's notes, and you're right that it is a very dreaded subject. So I would like to advise people that for ARD static, if you make notes, the notes of the static part, it will be very very helpful because we have to for objective from objective perspective, we have to cover very small minute details for the examination. And the notes of ARD, they are very bulky in nature. Like I have kept them here to show people. Like my ARD static notes, they are like this.
Mm.
This much of printout was there for ARD static. Okay, and the notes that I consolidated from them, they comprised only 40 pages. Okay, so that
Mm.
if you and it will be a long process to extract the good
True.
content from
Mm.
this much pile of notes. It will take time. I think after my second revision, I started this note making process, and I somehow tried to consolidate it in 40 pages. So at the time of the revisions, because you must understand one thing that multiple revisions is the key that differentiates between hard work and the
Yeah.
person gets selected. Because many people are giving in hard work, but where some of the people are lagging is the revision. If you will lack on the revision side, then it all those months of hard work will also go in vain. Okay, so for in order to facilitate your revision process, you should make notes specifically for something like ARD static,
Mm.
and for GA, for PIB also,
Mm.
because GA and PIB, these things are also very bulky magazines. So
Yeah.
for that also I prepared my own notes, and so that note making you can color code them, and it is very easy to memorize after that, and it is easy to revise
Right.
from.
And for content reasoning, like, did you completed all the topics? And like, if you could share that, did you only went for the specific chapters because it's just qualifying in nature, or maybe you just wanted to create base in all the subjects, and also like what source did you refer for content reasoning also?
Yeah. Yeah, for quant and reasoning, no, I did not cover all the topics because that would have been a very lengthy process for me, and I'm not preparing for banking examination, so that would
Yeah.
also have been futile for me. So I used Adda 24/7 YouTube channel. There are some good video if you want to create your base. But if you already have a base in it, then you don't need to put in much effort because many people are
Hmm.
banking aspirants, so they come in here. So if you already have a base, then it's good. But I use those videos to make my base. And yeah, I selected few topics because there's 20 mark quant and 20 mark reasoning. And I noticed that in quant, the highest cutoff that has gone till now, it was somewhere around 5 or 5.5 something. Okay. So quant, it was highest. So for both quant and reasoning, the score that I aimed for was 7. Okay, I used to attempt 10 questions around
Hmm.
for both of these things, 10 questions, and I used to score somewhere 6 or 7 in most of the mocks. So that and yeah, I selected a few topics. Like in reasoning, I selected syllogism, inequality, and sitting arrangement. Yeah, no, 3 4 topics, and
Hmm.
from them I somewhat
Puzzles.
gathered.
Hmm.
Yeah, puzzle I left because that was very tough for me. From a puzzle and sitting arrangement, you can choose, I think, one, because
Yeah.
both of them are very
Time
descriptive
consuming.
parts.
Hmm.
Yeah, very time consuming. So puzzle I left. I did sitting arrangement, and for I also did many mocks. And I would like to suggest one thing that I used to do mocks very methodically. Like this is a sheet. If
Hmm.
I've shared the video, I've shared the picture. I don't need to show
Okay.
this.
Okay.
I've shared the
Hmm.
picture. Okay,
Hmm.
so in that sheet, I had made these columns. Okay,
Hmm.
and I used to write all the subjects. Okay, quant, reasoning,
Hmm.
English, decision making, ARD, ASI, all the 7 8 subjects. And when I used to do my mocks, when I used to analyze them, I used to I used to analyze each and every section, and I wrote how many I attempted, how many were correct, how many guesses did I make in each and every section, and
Hmm.
how many of those guesses were correct for me. So I
Hmm.
used to do this for each and every section. First, I did the mock, and I took 1 hour to analyze that mock.
Hmm.
Okay, so I used to do this for every mock and for every section. So in this way, I created a pattern, and I understood a pattern that in what subjects I am, in what sections am
Hmm.
I doing good guesses, in what sections I am making bad guesses, and
Yeah.
all these things. So I would like to suggest to all the aspirants that if you can do you if you are doing mocks, if you're giving in your time, then extract the most out of it. Okay,
Hmm.
extract the most out of it. Try to utilize try to understand how you are performing in which sections you are lagging, and that can be done if you try to analyze them in a very methodical way. So
True.
that is what I did, and I would advise.
True, because accuracy in examination is also very important. It's just not about like knowing the content, but like accurately, then you have to give the answer there also. All right. And if we talk for decision making and computer knowledge, like the sources you referred.
Yeah, decision making, I used EduTap's material. There was a PDF of around some 30 40 pages. So I read that for about 3 days.
Hmm.
And for that also, I made my notes because, for that also, 2 3 pages, no, not, yeah, 3 5 pages more, pages notes. Because that also I needed to revise this day
Hmm.
before the examination because I kept very short span of time for it. And computer, I used at 24/7. That was a good PDF I got from internet only, and it covered most of the
Yeah.
questions, I think.
Okay, before moving ahead and asking about ESI and general awareness sources, I really want to ask, like content reasoning, you said that because it's just qualifying section, you just stick to few topics, right? But still, as an aspirant, as a fresher aspirant, didn't it
Mm.
ever occur to you that maybe if not NABARD, I might have to go for other plans? So let me just, start in a manner so that I can just target more number of examination. Like how did you, like the discipline that you have shown in your NABARD preparation, that okay, I'll stick to this and I'll focus and I'll just, dedicatedly prepare for it, but still there
Mm.
must have been times, when you have that self doubt, like is it going to happen or not, or like any such question. So for quant reasoning, didn't you have ever such thought that maybe I would have to go to other exams, so you should go for other topics as well?
Uh, I would not, I will not say that I was 100% sure that I will get into NABARD, but
Hmm.
I still had this faith that if I give in my 100%, there is very
Hmm.
high chances that I get
Get
qualified.
selected.
Okay,
Hmm.
yeah. So I had kept this year for NABARD only. I was thinking, okay, if I do not get, then I'll see what I hadn't even planned what I'll do after that. So
Mm.
I thought, okay, maybe I'll try RBI after that, because
Mm.
for next NABARD attempt it will not take me that much of time.
Yeah.
For So I thought, okay, I'll go attempt RBI. But I had not thought about the banking other
Yeah.
examinations as of now, because in my elder sister, she was also preparing since 2 3 years, and I'd seen her qualify for SEBI interview in 2022, I think. So I knew from seeing in my own
Mm.
family that if you put in 100% effort, if you put in the hard work, then even although most people say that in these examinations there are such less vacancies and thousands of people are applying, but I had seen in my own home that if you are putting in
Yeah.
100% effort, then it you can make it in the first attempt and second attempt at most. So yeah, I was not that much worried about the other aspects like the banking
Mm.
examination I did, but I knew that maybe I will have to choose another option, so I will maybe
Yeah.
go for RBI or anything. But that
Right.
was for
But
okay after
after
NABARD,
NABARD only.
after
Yeah.
NABARD only, yeah.
Right. And for like general awareness and ESI, what were the sources you took?
GA, GA also I covered from EduTap only. There was a
Okay.
magazine, and for that also I made very concise notes.
Mm.
Making notes for GA is very important. I would like to suggest, because again the same thing. The GA magazines are too bulky, and it will
Yeah.
be very tough for you to revise at the last moment. And I also used to make micro size notes, very small in very
Mm.
small handwriting, so that for each month I covered in 5 to 6 pages, like
Okay.
May
Okay.
in 5 to 6
Mm.
pages. Yeah, so it was very crisp notes. So GA also and made them into notes. And for ASI current, if you are talking about, then schemes and reports from EduTap. Schemes is a very good document of EduTap. I'd like to mention the schemes tab, because schemes
Mm.
play a major role in the NABARD examination, and it is covered in a very good manner, in a very comprehensive manner that is required for NABARD. And reports I also did for 6 months, but they did not come to they did not come to much use, because the
Mm.
exam did not focus much on the reports. And the third part is the PIB part, and that
Yeah.
also I think I covered PIB. Yeah, there's a section called ESI plus GA in
Mm.
your current affair magazine. Yeah, PIB I covered from that, and that also converted into my own customized.
Right. Okay. So what happens, like for example, the magazines that we provide. So definitely these are the news that we are providing. So we provide it very in a very concise manner, because we do understand that bulky. If there will be a lot of information, then it would be difficult to retain and all that thing, right? And of that also, you made more concise notes so that you can revise it quickly for the
Hmm,
examination. But like for descriptive, you require some elaborative information, right? For
hmm,
example, if I have made notes, I've made like like you were saying, for a month you had made 5 to 6 notes, so it must be very concise and like point to point, that maybe okay, this data dash this data, so this it
hmm,
would be like that, right? But in when we talk about descriptive writing, there has to be those words, like you have to have right 400 words or 600 words, right? So for that, then how did you prepare? Like, did you just fill up at the moment, or did you had any strategy for it?
hmm. No, no, no. I practiced a lot of questions. For yeah, descriptive is in
Mm.
two parts, ARD and ESI. Okay, so
Mm.
ARD static, I had everyone covers ARD static very thoroughly, because it plays a major role in the objective
Mm.
examination. So you have good concept building of ARD. Okay, you do not exactly practice is required, but you know the concepts, like everything, like the technical concepts
Yeah.
like crossbreeding,
Yeah.
artificial
Additional
insemination.
efforts is not
Yeah,
required if you are
not
doing
not allowed.
theory.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you just require practice, okay, because
Hmm.
you are already
Hmm.
covering in a great detail the static
Yeah.
part, so you can cover it. But the ESI static, it is a little
Hmm.
bit tricky, because the static does not play a very major role in the objective part.
Hmm.
So it kind of got neglected by me before the phase one. Not exactly neglected, but yeah, I
It
did
was
not
not
cover. Yeah,
prioritized.
yeah, it was
Hmm.
not prioritized. So I had to put in a little bit of extra efforts for ESI descriptive after my phase one. And you have to I had to strategize in that area, because the ESI syllabus, it is quite lengthy. But if you observe the previous year questions and the and the previous question, the pattern in which NABARD asks questions, the descriptive ones, you will see that some of the areas of the syllabus are not as important,
Yeah.
for NABARD from a current affair angle. So you have to be, very
Specific
smart.
with the
Yeah,
chapters. Yeah.
smart. Yeah, in
Hmm.
that area, because ARD static, they can dwell a little bit. Okay, for
Hmm.
example, I think last year cross breeding question was asked, which was
Yeah.
considered a tough question. So that is a technical and static question. They can go
Hmm.
like that, but in ESI, they are a little bit dynamic. For example, this year the question was about demographic dividend. And
Hmm.
demographic dividend is a much talked about topic these days. Okay, in fact, just somewhere near the examination of phase two only, demographic dividend came in news and everything. The population explosion and everything. So
Yeah.
the same question was asked. So in ESI, you have to be a little bit smart. You
Hmm.
don't have to exactly mug up each and every
Yeah.
PDF and each and every topic of the syllabus. You have to be spontaneous about what is going on around and what can
Hmm.
be important for NABARD. What can they expect from a NABARD officer? Okay, so
Hmm.
in that way you have to be prepare the ASI descriptive part. And yeah, the schemes are also important. Since last year, two schemes were asked questions. So
Yeah.
this year I made it my point that I will prepare more answer. I had written answer on most of the important schemes, not all the schemes.
Hmm.
Most of
Hmm.
the important schemes, they were around the 10, 12
Flagship
important
schemes. Yeah.
schemes. Yeah, flagship
Hmm.
schemes. So I had written an answer on 10 to 12 flagship schemes also. Practice once you will be in practice of answer writing, there you in the exam room, because there's exam time pressure, there's the tough
Hmm.
interface that is very difficult to navigate and tackle. So if you are in a very good habit of writing answer, you will be very spontaneous at that moment, which
Right.
I
Hmm.
experienced in my first attempt only. I experienced that there I did not have to, put in too much thought into it. My
Hmm.
fingers were moving automatically because I had practiced so much.
Yeah.
And the other thing about descriptive answer writing I would like to mention is to make a very good fodder material. Okay. Fodder material, I think everyone knows that
Hmm.
the points about schemes and data and the reports, and you have to consolidate your own fodder material. I have shared a screenshot with you guys of my fodder material so that people can get an idea, but you have to create your own. Okay,
Yeah.
so I classified all the topics like women, education, environment, etc., etc., and I used to write like under that regarding it, reports and
Reports.
data. I used to make
Yeah.
three things. Okay, and I would also mention that please make it on Word document, Word. Don't
Hmm.
use pen and paper mode because that will be a little tough to edit and
Hmm.
keep on editing on those. So that is the only thing that I used for note making to
Hmm.
create the soft copy is the only thing that I use for making my fodder material, both for English descriptive, for English for as well as for descriptive answer writing. Okay, so you create a very good fodder material, and you will that will automatically accelerate your answer writing. Once you keep starting, first you will
Yeah.
have to see those points, and then you will have to write. But once you get in that flow, you get in that momentum, then the data fodder material that will automatically keep popping up in your head. So it will be very
Definitely.
good.
And talking about like this is one thing, like you were adding content as per scheme, reports and data, right? But did you like also practice like full answers, so get an idea that you can write, within 400 word limit or 600 word limit?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I wrote most of the I wrote a lot of questions, and also I did full length mock tests
Hmm.
of EduTap and of other coaching institutes as well. So because that gives you a real time experience. And I
Yeah.
also I used to them in one sitting, like in the exam kind of mode. Don't just pause and write one answer and
Hmm.
then pause and I'll write another answer. Do it in your exam setting, because no matter how close how close you try to
Hmm.
get to the exam kind of environment, that environment will be something else only. Okay,
Yeah.
because in you cannot use that interface. That interface is very difficult. The exam
Hmm.
interface, that is very difficult. Okay, so no matter how much I try, I used to put in, typing sounds in my background so that I get
Okay.
again I can get habitual to the
Used to.
sound of, yeah, I can get used to the sound of the typing in the exam room. So I used to play that typing sound. I used to do in one sitting and everything. I used to isolate my study room and everything, but
Mm.
still the exam environment was a little difficult than what I had
Mm.
practiced. Okay, so that will be a little difficult. So try to get as close as to the exam environment, write whole answers, write everything. Then only you'll be able to, not face much challenges in the real battle.
Right. So, like your after your phase two was done, so were you like certain that you're going to get the interview call, or like you were just calculating on the mistakes that might have you might have committed, or maybe you would have written a better answer or anything like that.
Hmm. Actually, yeah, that is something that I think everyone does, because just after, I think, right now I can say, after analyzing so much, after getting selected, that my descriptive answers have gone well. My
Mm.
descriptive part has gone well. But just after the exam, while I was coming out, I thought I had written anything. Because just
Yeah.
like I told you, na,
Mm.
that there your fingers will
Don't
start
have
moving
time. Mm.
automatically. You cannot
Mm.
think. I was thinking that when I practiced at home, I had thought so much.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
that performance at your home will be different from that, because that will be a little less, because
Mm.
the exam environment and everything. So I was thinking that at home I practiced so well, and here I think I just tried to fill up space, and I've tried to just fulfill the word limit. But late, yeah, that kind of overthinking was there. But I talked to one of my mentors, one of my sirs, so he told me that he had confidence that I
Mm.
will get qualified. So I thought that maybe, okay, someone is, if someone, some
Yeah.
teachers saying maybe I will do. So, but yeah, I had doubts and everything, but still I started with my interview prep soon after
Right.
phase
So
two.
then how did you prepare for interview? Like what were the sources you referred, and about mock interviews if you have given any, and how important did you feel like it is to take mock interviews?
Okay, first, my preparation, it was divided into three parts. For an interview, first you need to prepare about yourself. These are related questions. I prepared some
Mm.
300 questions on myself, about your name, your school, your
Yeah.
city, your hobbies, etc.,
Hobbies.
etc.
Hmm.
Yeah, hobbies, college, and everything. Just try to think as
Hmm.
broadly as possible. I even used Chat GPT for that process. If my
Hmm.
hobby is this, what kind of interview questions can be asked, and they would
Yeah.
list out very good questions. So for HR, I created one thing. Second thing was about NABARD. You have to
Mm.
be very thorough with what NABARD does. You can use the NABARD website for that, and you from website only you can. I also prepared the state focus paper and the potential link paper, potential link
Hmm.
credit potential, something like that, about your own district, that also NABARD releases, about my city Lucknow, and the second was state focus paper Uttar Pradesh, and some things about your background. Okay, for background you cannot study too much instantly before
Yeah.
the interview, because most of things are like what you automatically know. So mine was economics, so some things, some basic concepts I brushed up, because that was what I was told in my interview, in my mock interview, EduTap mock interview, that I was lacking a little bit there. And apart from that, the economic survey, budget, and all such things. Okay, such important documents. That were, because they were released just then. It was released on first Feb, and my interview was on 6th Feb. So all those important documents about the economy of the country, those also I covered. But yeah, yeah, and the second thing you asked about the mock interview. Okay, so mock interviews were, yeah, they are very important part, because they give you a kind of confidence, and they also tell you where you are lagging, because in EduTap also, and in one two other institution also, they had invited the workers of NABARD, ex CGM and DGM, that's such high post. So they told me, yeah, you have good potential, you seem like a probable candidate. So that kind of, boosts your confidence, and you feel okay that I'm going on the right
And
track.
how was your main interview? What was it on the line in which you have studied and the mock test they were given, or there was some difference in the main interview?
Okay, yeah, like, my interview was not at all on the lines that I had expected, and this is something that I would like to suggest to all the other aspirants also, that never expect that if you have a certain kind of background, so your
Yeah.
interview will also fall in that lines. Just stay ready for anything, because if you are ready for anything, then only you will be able to, maintain your calm and composure in the
Hmm.
interview room. Otherwise, you will go a little astray that, oh my God, I've not prepared this. So mine was different. Um, they did not ask much about my background and about the economics as I was expecting, because for economics candidates, for agriculture
Hmm.
candidates, we expect that it would be a little technical. No concepts and everything would be asked, but they did not ask about these things. They said asked me to debate, because I had
Okay. Hmm.
a background in debating in my school. So they asked me to debate on a topic, and it was very enriching, although though, because it was something that I did not expect, and at the same time it was very interesting according
Hmm.
to me, because some of the people were saying that they are very neutral, they are not responding much, but in my
Much, yeah.
interview in my interview the panel was very cordial. They were
Hmm.
they were smiling, and they were asking different kind of questions. Maybe I was a fresher candidate, that is why they were not going on a
Yeah.
conventional path or anything, but they were asking things like debating, and some of the questions were also a little bit like I was
Non-conventional.
not from the transcription,
Hmm.
everything that you read. And it is also said that each and every interview is
Yeah.
unique. Even if people who had given from economics background the same earlier day, a day prior to me, their interview question was different. My interview questions were totally different. So that is very that is very spontaneous for them, and that is very unique for everyone, I think.
Right, true. And once your interview was done, so were you satisfied with the performance, or again, till the result, because this was the last stage, and we become more self-critical about, I could have said this or that. So how did that time go? And finally, when the result was announced, how was the reaction at home?
I was definitely very scared after the interview, because you keep on overthinking, you keep on analyzing that what did ma'am mean when
Yeah.
she said this? Was she criticizing me at that point? Was
Hmm.
she yeah, I
Yeah.
was
Was she actually complimenting, or was it a
yeah.
sarcasm? How was it?
Yeah, was it a sarcasm?
Hmm.
Was she, pointing out that you are wrong or something? You
Hmm.
keep on and like you that the whole transcript, it keeps on playing in your mind all
Yeah.
along. Okay, so but result was not very long. But I think
Hmm.
within 1 week after completing all the interviews, the result was out. So that period was not very stressed, and the when I got the result, I was very very tensed. I was very,
Yeah.
because that my fingers and my hand, they started shaking. I was like,
Hmm.
I kept on checking for 10 times. I checked before
Hmm.
calling anyone from my family that okay, I've cleared. And
Yeah.
although no one was there, my mother, she was also asleep, and my sister was
Hmm.
out. So I kept on checking hundred tens of times, and then I
Hmm.
finally yelled, okay, I got selected. And my mother, she got scared. She actually got scared because
Yeah. Hmm.
I started yelling so much. So yeah, that was a very not happy also, and at the same time a very
Yeah.
relieful,
Mixed. Yeah.
happy, and
It's a mixed
scared,
emotions. Yeah.
emotional, everything.
Hmm.
You get emotional, you get everything. And but slowly, when the after a few days, when the feelings get synced and everything, you start feeling happy.
Hmm.
Slowly.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So now everything, like, it's fine. You have achieved a dream at 21 years of age. Definitely now you can pursue your hobbies or whatever the in future you want to achieve. You have a lot of time. And that was the story of Ms. Suryanshi, and who has, with first of all, clarity of mind, I would say, very important aspect. The key takeaway that we can take from her journey is the clarity of thoughts, of that dedication, and having faith in yourself, that no matter whoever experienced have come in the examination, I have to give my best. That really helped her to achieve her dream, and you can do so with your dedication and faith in yourself. So thank you, Suryanshi, for joining with us and sharing the views, and I am definitely sure it is going to help a lot of aspirants. At the end, I would like to say something to the aspirants who are preparing for this exam, and maybe they can be the freshers just like you, and would want to have some words of advice.
Okay, yeah, I had actually thought of something. Just a second.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to share one experience. along with your preparation and your hard work, I think one thing that is very important is how you conduct yourself and how you keep your calm in the exam room. For example, I had two experiences in the phase one and in the phase two. Before the phase one, on the day of the examination, I was extremely anxious. Like I was prancing. I remember I was prancing in front of the exam center. I was so nervous, and I was just kept on working. And with that anxiousness only, I sat in the exam room. And what happened with me, like my screen, my monitor, it was defective, a little defective. My screen
Mm.
got after beginning, after the paper got started, I saw that some of the questions are cut. So that
Yeah.
problem, it arose. So I was just telling that something unexpected can happen at the exam room.
Mm.
So that problem, it arose with me, and I had to immediately call the supervisor, and they took some 5 minutes to change my seat. And in that 5 minutes, I'm seeing that everyone is, solving,
Doing
everyone is
work. Yeah.
answering, and I'm standing there waiting for my, with no fault of my own. So, and
Mm.
in that, I was already anxious, and this thing, it
Yeah.
made me double anxious,
Mm.
and it got on my nerves. And some of I got wrong some of the questions that I knew, because I
Mm.
did the paper in such a,
Mm.
in a bad state of mind. I got some of the questions wrong, and later on I was regretting so much that, oh no, I knew this question, I knew this
Yeah.
question. When you if you don't know the question, it is okay. But when
Yeah.
you know the question and you do it wrong because of a poor state of mind, or because of your lack of calmness and composure, then it
Mm.
is very, very regretful. So after that phase one, I got this lesson. Okay, keeping calm and composure in the exam room is as important as preparing. Otherwise,
Yeah.
all that preparation that you I'm doing for months, it will go in vain. So in phase two, I changed my approach towards towards the paper. Although a day before the paper I was very anxious, but on that day I kept my calm. I conducted myself in a very in a very normal and very
Yeah.
no, peaceful way. I just stood aside from all the other candidates. Keep your peace in your mind. And in the phase two also, a situation of anxiety, it popped up, because
Mm.
the objective was very difficult. It was kind of unpredictable. Not much focus on the
Mm.
schemes, and according to for me, I'm not talking about everyone, but for me it was very a little bit difficult, not on what I
Yeah.
expected. So the objective is this first, but more, if you are in a poor state of mind, you will get panicked after
Mm.
that tough question, and you will ruin your descriptive paper as well. Okay, so I just maintained my calm. I said, okay, first part
Mm.
is done. Now I have to focus on descriptive. I have prepared very well. I've worked very hard for
Mm.
descriptive. I have to make sure that it is up to mark. Okay. So I forgot the objective paper, and I focused only on descriptive. And I think I know, like, although the marks are not out yet, but in objective, I must have scored a little less, but I must have scored good on descriptive, only because I
Descriptive.
was able
Mm.
to keep my mind chill. And I even because of that cool and calm mind, I was even able to fulfill the word limit in some
Yeah.
600 word answer also. So that is something that I would like to advise to, please focus on how your mind and how your state of mind is during the paper. Okay,
Mm.
that is during and before, just before, in the morning of the paper. So that is very important. It can somehow change your
The
destiny
game.
and
Yeah.
change the game. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay. Thank you for the words of advice. Definitely, and from your own experience that you have shared, this will definitely help aspirants to keep these checks in mind before going to the examination. We
Yes.
wish you very best for your future, and yeah, all the best for your future journey.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It was wonderful experience, this interview. And thank you.